I say the Commanders draft Drake Maye because you take the ceiling guy. You aren't expected to compete year one.
They got Mariota. They have Mariota. Bro, Mariota is not a backup.
You're under the impression that Drake Maye should sit starting now.
Yes.
I don't believe in sitting
You're
top 5
insane.
draft picks.
You're insane.
I don't believe in sitting top 5
trust the
draft
regime.
picks.
Do what y'all want to do.
You're insane, bro. You're insane. Like,
You hire the staff
Caleb Williams only do
specifically for these scenarios.
Play the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron.
It's Brian.
And it's the Courtside View podcast. And today, we got a special guest. We got super fan of the Commanders and also Oxon Hill alum, member of the baseball team. What's good, Xavier? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Glad I could be on this show. And I'm ready to talk my shit today.
Hey,
All right.
the theme of this episode is all negativity. There is going to be no limit of what we're going to say. Usually we like to be PG. Today we're gonna be a little extra with it. We're gonna be PG-13 today because I got a lot of stuff to go on my chest. Off rip, I just want to address a few things. Number one, to all the haters out there, to all the people that be in the comment section talking shit, I don't care if it's 1 versus 1,000. I'm ready for whatever. It does not matter. All you Arkansas fans, I don't care if y'all talking shit. I don't care if all of you guys are against me and Brian. At the end of the day, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for war. So, it don't matter who it is. That's all I got to say on that matter. But make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well. And let's get down to it. A week until the draft. Man, the draft is
Not even a
almost
full
here.
week. More like 5 days.
Oh, man. Xavier. Off rip. How you feeling, man? How you feeling about this draft? Like, because a lot of stuff has been going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been hearing the fan base is split.
Yeah, fan base is pretty split.
It's a civil war right now.
It's pretty split. It's bad. It's bad. Well, first I'm gonna talk about the draft in general. Okay, I'm excited for the draft in general. You know, this quarterback decision is kind of got me a little shaky, but I'm not really gonna be upset at whoever we draft. I have my preference, of course. I'm gonna get into that a little later. But the whole draft in general, with the whole draft, I think we're gonna have a good draft. Adam Peters is known around the league as a talent evaluator. Like, that's what he came up as, like one of the most renowned talent evaluators or whatever. Lance Newmark, assistant GM, same thing pretty much. Came up as a talent evaluator. And yeah, with those two dudes leading the show, I really think we're going to see some good things. But with the fan base, you know, as a ex-fan, you know how I get. It gets bad. And it's bad right now with this whole quarterback controversy thing. It's very bad.
Yeah, I'll say that because, you know, Adam Peters, y'all brought in the 4 QBs. Y'all brought in Penix, McCarthy, Drake Maye, and Daniels. I'm like, yo. First of all, I can't recall that ever happening. But number two, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to, like, you know.
Yeah.
They're trying to see, like, all right, what, like, how these guys feel about this.
Yeah.
They trying to uncover some things, right?
Yeah.
And so far, it has worked. When it comes to Jayden Daniels, we found out that the Asian he's liking posts about how just they don't like how the Commanders conducted themselves, bringing in all these QBs. They should have opened up the red carpet for Jayden Daniels. He should have had a separate visit by himself with the Commanders, and then all of a sudden, you know, you hear reports with Adam Schefter saying, "Yo, this is like real smoke." Like, this is serious stuff right here. Like, people was trying to, you know, they were trying to, oh, it's not serious. Like, the agent liking a tweet about his client talking about how he dislikes the way that the Commanders are conducting themselves when it comes to the visit. Man, this is how you feel about that? How you feel about the Commanders bringing in 4 quarterbacks at the same time to conduct a visit?
Well, I don't think it was really that bad. You know, I see what they were doing. I understand why some reports are coming out that it was a bad move or whatever by Washington not getting the players one-on-one. But the thing is, they did get the players one-on-one, just in separate meetings later on in the day.
Yeah.
But they took them to Top Golf to, I guess, see how they collaborated with competition, I guess. See who would take over. See who was like, where their mindset was at while playing. See who was engaged with everyone else and who wasn't. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not like they were just at Top Golf like, yeah, tell me what happened during this play and yada, yada, yada. Like, it's not like that. But with the Jayden Daniels thing, that is real smoke right there. I will stand on that. That is real smoke. It's dudes on the Skins beat. Or Commanders beat now. On the Commanders beat now. I'm not gonna say the names. Pretty much trying to say it's not real and all of this, but it's real. Like, you don't get on. Jeremy Fowler can't get on SportsCenter at 9 in the morning or whatever and say Jayden Daniels would prefer playing in Las Vegas or Minnesota without it being real. Like, you can't make that up. You can't make it up. So yeah, with the fan base, well, especially the Jayden Daniels fans, because in our fan base is really split between Jayden Daniels, Drake Maye, and you got the minority, either trade back or J. McCarthy or Michael Penix. Like, we're not doing that. No. That small minority, no. Might as well just stuck with Sam Howell if we're doing that. But anyways, the fan base is split that way, and like the Daniels fans don't want anyone else pretty much. The May fans is kind of open to other people, but the Daniels fans just ignore all the red flags. Like, you can't ignore the agent doing all of this. You can't ignore a SportsCenter report. Like, you can't ignore a Get Up Football report. You can't ignore that. Like, what? It's crazy to me.
Yeah, they think see that's the thing, because you know, like, nowadays people like, oh, these reporters, like, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, it's a lie, or they feeding, you know, they getting information, and the people are just trying to like push certain narratives to try to help themselves. Like, it could be a front office exec, it can be whoever it is. They trying to like stir some stuff up. But these reports, I mean, they're legitimate. I mean, just the way that they're being reported and stuff. If like all these different reporters, like, these guys are very renowned. They're established. They've been in the game for years, so they know how this thing works. And for them to report this stuff, I highly doubt that these reports are just fake. They're lies. They're just trying to be spun up to help a certain team with their draft selection. Maybe they're trying to get the QB that they want. I highly doubt that. I think this is just like there's smoke, there's fire, and I think this is a situation like that. I think the relationship seemed like it was really good during pro day, but then all of a sudden you get to this point where it's a test. This remind me of like when you're going out for an interview and they having like different interviews scheduled on like close to the same time. Like, I remember I got an interview with Chick-fil-A like years ago, and it was like a bunch of people that was like right like before me, after me. Like that's what probably Jayden Daniels felt like. Like, damn, like, I mean, I thought I was gonna, I thought I was the prize. I thought I was the king. Y'all wanted so much.
That's the crazy part to me. This whole offseason, Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, Josh Harris, they've been saying we're going to use this whole entire time to process all the information we can process. I don't think they probably going to have a decision until probably they get on the clock. They probably not going to have a decision until then, and I'm just going to be waiting as a fan.
I think at the end of the day, I think it's two QBs. It's Drake Maye and it's Jayden Daniels. And who do you want? I don't believe in the J.J. McCarthy nonsense. Like, come on, get the hell out of here with that. Michael Penix Jr., get the hell out of that with that. It's Jayden Daniels, it's Drake Maye, and they're trying to decide who do we think can be the face of this franchise. Who do we think is going to come in with no ego at all, that all he cares about is winning, putting his best foot forward. He's not going to be a locker room cancer. We already had that before, 10 years ago with RG3. Do we want that again?
No.
Remember RGIII? RG me? Like, we don't want that again. So for them to do that, I have no problem with it. I just find it funny because I've just never heard of a organization doing something like that. And to be quite honest, I think it's a good idea. Although it's not normal, is it bad? Just because something's not normal, doesn't mean it's bad. I feel like people just they take things and they just run with it a certain way because it's because of this franchise. But
Right,
is it really that bad? Like honestly, I'm like if like I was like my NBA team, whatever. I'm bringing up NBA, but if I like the Lakers, for instance, when they were asked, like I wouldn't mind them if they brought in like different prospects. Like I remember the year they brought in Lonzo, they drafted Lonzo. Like I wouldn't mind if they brought in Tatum, Fox, Lonzo, and whoever the hell else to see what they all about, because this is a huge decision. Like you wanna do all your due diligence, your research, and trying to get this pick right, because this is the most important draft of this regime. First year, and it's the most important because if you don't get this draft, if you don't knock it out of the park of this draft, it's gonna be very difficult to get this franchise back and running again.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why they're doing all this. That's why they're inviting all the quarterbacks at the same time. Because they understand the pressure that's involved in this decision. A quarterback, number 2 overall pick. Remember, y'all passed up on Justin Herbert.
Aaron, you was there. I was in the group chat. I was one of the only Justin Herbert people. I was only one of the Justin Herbert people in our fantasy football group chat back in the days. And like he was on the Tua wave. Okay, I give him that. Tua was good too. But like I was like the only person on the Justin Herbert wave. I was like trade back and draft Justin Herbert. We got Chase Young instead. It is what it is.
I mean, I like Chase Young's pass rush. I'm like, damn, y'all need a QB. But the thing is, like, and the thing with Justin Herbert, he was actually a better prospect coming out than Drake Maye is right now, because he was more fundamentally sound. I think when he got out of the pocket, that's when like his fundamentals sort of like waver a little bit. But when he was in the pocket, he was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I just think like with Justin Herbert coming out, like he wasn't throwing the ball like it would be like intermediate routes.
Justin Herbert has the same problem that Drake Maye doesn't have. Drake Maye can be too gun ho.
Yeah.
But Justin Herbert is too gun shy.
Yeah, that is true. He was. Then I remember. I don't know what game it was. They were playing the top team. I don't know if it was Stanford or whoever it was. It was on ESPN and everything. And like he just was not moving the needle for me. Like he it was like a close game and everything, and he just couldn't get it done. And I'm like, this is the guy y'all been talking about? Like he's not moving the needle at all. He's not moving the chains, and I'm just wondering, like, is he really that dude?
Justin Herbert, he still has that issue to this day.
Yeah, I think he still
But he's
does.
so talented, though. He's so talented, and he's so good. I
want that Justin Herbert on my team.
But the thing is that Drake Maye, the decision making, Justin Herbert was a solid decision maker. Drake Maye, on the other hand, he has those little. You like, is he stupid? Like, come on, man.
I can't even deny that. Like, okay, so I guess it's apparent that I'm definitely a Drake Maye fan. Or, I wouldn't say a fan. I'm a fan. That's my preference at quarterback. That's who I want us to draft. But I feel like his all the turnover worthy plays and the interceptions and the fumbles, all of that is really overblown compared to the plays he does make. But I do agree that he does make like some boneheaded plays though. Like some of the interceptions and fumbles that he's made, probably most of the interceptions and fumbles that he's like created were from boneheaded plays instead of like trying to create plays instead of just throwing the ball away or something like that. You know, he probably run off to his right, away from pressure.
He does.
And gets sacked from the back, and it's a strip sack. Or he try to do the same thing, throw it down the field, it's a pick. But the thing is, though, he doesn't do it as often as the media like implies, or like they've said the scouts think he does, because according to PFF, I'm citing PFF. I subscribe to the PFF Premium, so now I'm a PFF savant now. It's some good info on PFF. I cannot lie. At first I was against it, but now like I see how they move. But according to PFF, his career big time throws percentages 8.1%, and his turnover worthy plays is only 2.1%. Okay. And that's like his big time throw percentage. He led over the past 2 seasons. See, people want to ignore the 2022 season too, right? Like,
yeah.
They want to ignore that season. That's when he had his best footage, and his best film, and he was younger. Like, You can't ignore that. And over the past 2 seasons, so 2022, when he played all 12 games, and 23, when he played all 12 games again, he led all the quarterbacks that's eligible for the drafts in big-time throws. And I'm just supposed to, like, ignore that because of some boneheaded throws he be making occasionally. Like, he makes the big-time throws way more than the bad plays. And that's not even an opinion, that's a fact. Like people want to cite the film. Okay, his footwork is very shoddy, but like he got arm talent to make up for it though. Like
yeah, he does.
He has the arm talent. He doesn't just have velocity. Like he has placement too when it comes to that. Not just velocity, but Drake Maye isn't as bad of a prospect as the media and fans have been pushing over the past month or so. Like no bad press has come out about him except for his footwork. And like people say he needs to sit 2-3. Like nah, that's not.
Merrill Hodges.
Merrill Hodges. I don't know why he's on that wave, man.
He was like, if a team drafts this Drake Maye, like he gonna get you fired if you draft.
I don't believe.
If you draft Drake Maye in the first round.
So my whole thing about this entire situation. First, starting off with the top golf situation. I don't see a problem with it personally. It's just, hey, it's survival of the fittest at this point. If you can't get in when you fit in, then you ain't gonna get in nowhere over here. So, hey, if Jayden Daniels people feel a way about it, then hey, this probably ain't the place for you. You feel what I'm saying? If this was Snyder regime, they probably would have rolled the red carpet out for you. But it's a new age, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately for the rest of the NFC East fans, whatever. But yeah, but as far as is there smoke? Absolutely, there's smoke. Adam Schefter was banging on the table not too long ago saying Jayden Daniels is the number 2 pick. Now he's like, well, yeah, about that. It might not happen at this point. And the biggest indicator, if this was really just nothing, then Vegas odds would have remained the same. But the movement is there. It's not slight. No, it's big movement. It's big movement. So that's when I knew I was it's something there. Because I'll tell you what, Vegas knows everything. I don't know how they know, they just know it. So yeah, and as far as the Drake Maye versus Jayden, this is a classic example of floor versus ceiling. I'm floor guy when it comes to draft. That's why I got Jayden Daniels higher than Drake Maye on mine. But it's like marginal. But I say the Commanders draft Drake Maye because you take the ceiling guy, you aren't expected to compete year one.
They got Mariota. They have Mariota. Bro, Mariota is not a backup.
You're under the impression that Drake Maye should sit starting now.
Yes.
I don't believe in sitting
You're
top 5 draft
insane.
picks.
You're insane.
I don't believe in sitting top 5
trust
draft
the
picks.
regime. Do what y'all want to do.
You're insane, bro. You're insane. Like
You hire the staff
Caleb Williams only do
specifically for these scenarios.
Bro,
You won't bring Cliff Kingsbury on board if you don't think, and you don't bring Brian Johnson on board if you don't think you can develop a QB year one.
Did you just named Brian Johnson and Cliff Kingsbury and you sound very confident.
They can't.
Listen,
can't discredit them fully.
let's not forget what Jalen Hurts looked like year one versus what he looked like now.
Jalen looks like Sam Howell at one point.
Worse than Sam Howell.
Brian Johnson was the OC for the Eagles.
He was the QB coach first though.
Okay. But then he was the OC.
Passing game coordinator.
Okay, and then he was the OC, and now he's the passing game coordinator. You trust him?
Listen, you got. Listen, I know his work with his last year work. It was some mid. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough. It was tough.
What can you do for me now, league? Like this is a recency bias league. So like recently, the coaches they done bought in ain't really. I can't lie. Like that's what scares me about all them.
Recent work ain't been up
Dan
up
Quinn, his last game, I
would down
We got Osa Odigizua lining up in the A gap, man.
He sold us out that last game. I would down that hill. There's no way the Packers ain't punted until almost like the fourth quarter. He sold us out.
Cliff Kingsbury, his last game was in college, but like his last game in the league, that didn't end well. That ended with him and Kyler Murray having beef. Who else?
On the sideline.
Who else? Brian Johnson, that ended pretty badly with the Eagles. Like,
fired.
he got fired from them and they was scapegoating for their bad offense towards the end of the season.
And Joe Witt was rolling with DQ last year.
Hey,
so.
Joe Witt. At least Joe Witt, he coached them quarterbacks to catch the ball though.
What about the offensive line coach from
Oh.
the Giants?
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I
that
forgot
was
all
bad
about
work.
Bobby
That was
Johnson.
bad work right there.
I got a lot of heat for this. We got a lot of heat for this, but we were looking at the coaching staff for the Commanders, and I was like, at the beginning, right? So they brought in Cliff Kingsbury and Brian Johnson before they brought in, I think it was Joe Witt and everybody else, and I was like, this shit don't move me.
It
Like,
wasn't moving me either.
This shit kind of ass. Like, and then all the people like, what are you talking about? Like, they learn from their mistakes. Dan Quinn's gonna learn from his mistakes. I'm like, when? Did you not see what he did with the Cowboys, the playoff game for my Packers? He was getting
No. Then they got on they said, well, he's not coaching the defense. He's just the head coach. I'm like, oh my god.
What do they bring him in for? I don't understand. Like, if you're a defensive-minded coach, I expect the defense to be really good. Like, the offense, we can worry about that later. But the defense, that shit better be good.
I expect
respectable.
immediate changes on the defense.
Like, come on now.
Changes.
See, that's why what's his name got fired from the Chargers is because that defense was garbage.
That dude was coaching historically bad defenses for years. Like, that doesn't make sense.
And he was there for like 4 years. Like, he was getting away with robbery, with theft.
Aaron Donald merchant.
Exactly.
Jalen Ramsey merchant.
Jalen Ramsey merchant, bro.
Von Miller merchant.
And now we're with the 49ers, but that's a different discussion for another day. All I'm saying is that, like, the coaching staff, I'm just not so confident that they can develop a QB. So that's why when Brian brings up the point, I'm a floor guy, I just think when I look at Jayden Daniels, I just think his fundamentals are already good enough where you can be confident that he can start right away. Now, I'm not saying he has the potential of a Drake Maye. I'm just saying, like, I'm confident enough. Like, all right, if I have to start a QB day one, I think Jayden Daniels is more ready than a Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye, his fundamentals, it needs
Here's
time.
why I'll push back on that since we get negative. Jayden Daniels is my boy, but when you say that, yes, he may be more fundamentally sound, whatever that means to you, but you can't ignore there's some stats out there.
I saw stats.
Specifically about him going past his first or second read.
I saw that.
Before he just takes off.
I saw that.
He ain't a perfect prospect. So here's
no
my
perfect
thing.
prospect.
It obviously is not. But here's my thing though. I don't think the gap between Jayden Daniels and Drake Maye is wide enough for you to think that Maye has to sit, but Jayden Daniels can start day one. I don't think it is.
I'm just
I
saying.
agree with that. It's a good take right there.
I'm just saying, if we looking at it from a perspective of, if you have these two QBs and you're saying who can start day one, and you can feel somewhat comfortable.
Jayden if I was on that way.
Here's another point. Compared to their college rosters, who has the more what
That's
QB
true.
had the more comparable situation?
That's true. That is true. Jayden Daniels, he had all-world wide receivers.
2 first-round wide receivers.
2 first-round wide receivers. That is true, and I give you credit for that. I agree with that. But I'm just looking at. But if you look at the film, look at what these QB evaluators are saying. They're looking at it. Oh, Jayden Daniels has a quick release. Jayden Daniels, he's able to go through his reads relatively quickly. While, like, there's points in Drake Maye where he goes through his reads and he be second guessing, or he be going to the read too quickly at times, and he should have let it progress. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying to myself, well, maybe, just maybe, Jayden Daniels, you put him in this Commander situation, and you're a little bit more comfortable starting him early because it's Mariota, bruh. It's Listen, you bring in Mariota, there is no way you can tell me that the organization believes that Mariota is going to start the entire season. Mariota is going to be the starter day one. Like, I believe they brought in Mariota because they don't want no competition for the QB that they're bringing in. Because Mariota sucks. He's a practice squad QB. He's a QB3 at best. He is not no backup. The dude stinks.
He's a running
Tell him how
back.
you really feel.
He should really be
You
having
should
a
be in
running
the
back
UFL.
allegations.
He should be Taysom Hill. That's how bad he
better
is.
than Mariota. I ain't gonna.
That's how bad he is. So I'm looking at
Taysom Hill can run a route and catch a touchdown.
I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying to myself, if I had to start a QB day one, I'm going with Jayden Daniels. Like I'm sorry, like that's just how I am. I understand the flaws. Lamar Jackson, I know he didn't start day one, but he eventually started. Fundamentals wasn't always there. He would just like with Jayden Daniels at the time. Like he was more so run than pass. He didn't necessarily go through his reads a whole lot. He was still working on his fundamentals at the time, but they were able to win. They were able to get to the playoffs. Now, he stunk it up in the playoffs, but they were able to get to the playoffs. And I'm not saying that the Commanders won't get to the playoffs. Hell no, not with this coaching staff, not with this talent. But I will say that it has happened before where a QB that not necessarily, he's not all the way there yet, he can utilize his legs. I'm not saying he's as good as Lamar Jackson, but he's still a dynamic runner with the football. He can still evade people at times. And you can win some games with that early on. Now,
that's what scares me.
That is. But I think where I'm concerned with Drake Maye is that he does be making them boneheaded mistakes. Like, his turnovers are not like, oh, accidental or something like, oh, somebody tipped the ball or like this is all him. Like this is all his fault. And that's where I'm like, but again, like you said, they can be taught, they can be teach, but do you believe that the coaching staff, are you confident that the coaching staff can teach this quarterback the right way? I'm not confident, Cliff Kingsbury. I'm sorry.
I'm confident. Well, not fully confident. I'm not 100% confident. Like, a lot of people's 100% confident just because of the names and all of that. But I'm just confident because it's just too many people there. Yeah. Well, that's a reason why I'm kind of unconfident, but at the same time, it's too many people there to, like, teach you right from wrong when it comes to, especially former quarterbacks. Like, Brian Johnson came out there and saw Jalen Hurts, his footwork. Like the correct his footwork and whatnot. He's been credited for that. Like Jalen Hurts has credited Brian Johnson for helping him become a better quarterback. And then Cliff Kingsbury, we know what happened in Arizona, but at the same time we know Cliff Kingsbury's history with quarterbacks though. But Cliff Kingsbury's quarterbacks also tend to like burn out and like die out towards the end of the season. So that's a red flag for me too. And who else? Talbot Pritchard, our quarterbacks coach now. He was bald head with Bieniemy. Like I don't really have anything to say about that. Like that's a dude that was held over by this regime. I guess Adam Peters likes him, so I like him for now. But like he was a Bieniemy hire, so I'm not really moved by that. The only dude I'm really moved by, it's kind of crazy to say, is kind of David Blau, because at least he was with a good team recently. I mean, Brian Johnson was too, but David Blau didn't leave the Lions off of bad terms. He just left because he retired and wanted to become a coach, so he came to us. But I feel like they could probably iron out the flaws, and not just Drake Maye, but Jayden Daniels too. Like Jayden Daniels does have his own flaws, but his flaws are definitely more transferable, like and not uncoachable, but uncoachable, I guess. Like you can't teach a guy who's been running for his not really his whole career, but a majority of his career to just stand in the pocket, and if the play break down, don't run or try to throw the ball away. You can't really teach that. And I've seen that. I tried to convince myself. I can't lie. I tried to convince myself last year with Sam Howell that you could do that. Like you could teach a quarterback who's been historically known to hold the ball, to get the ball off faster. It was working in some games, but most of the season he was holding the ball too long. Like going through his reads, wouldn't see the read, sack, or trying to run out the pocket. Same thing with Carson Wentz. I was never on the Carson Wentz wave, but he was definitely a high pressure to sack guy. Like he was holding the ball too long. He was getting smacked. Oh my God. Yeah. Hope I never got to see it again. And with Jayden Daniels, his pressure to sack ratio is absurd. It's like 24%.
Yeah, it's 24, and then Drake's is 18.
Yeah.
I see what. Yeah, it is.
In 2022, his pressure to sack ratio was 30. Like that's an outlier. Like he was getting sacked a third of the. Sorry,
I'll say this. I say this though, because I haven't watched a whole lot of like games of Jayden Daniels. I watched like beginning of the season, and I was like, this dude what is all the hype? Because it was like, oh, he was a 5-star recruit. I'm like, what's all this hype around him for? And then all of a sudden, he just, middle of the season, like, just starts going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this? And, because remember, Michael Penix was like QB3 for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Jayden Daniels comes on the scene and he starts doing his thing. And then it was like, oh, Jayden Daniels, he might be QB3. He might be the second best quarterback. I'm like, yo, he might be the first best quarterback. I'm like, yo, what? Like, he was rising up the ranks. And I'm like, damn, like this fast? So
We getting food off of 8 weeks of footage.
that's what I'm trying to be fair because I know how much he's improved because I remember that Florida State game. He was not playing well. Like he was looking very bad against Florida State.
ACC team, by the way.
Yeah, he was looking very bad that game, and I'm like,
To be fair, Florida State went undefeated.
yeah, Jared versus. But man, I don't even want to
And they
open up that
always
can of
stick it up
worms.
against FSU for whatever reason.
I don't even want to open up a can of worms because people will be slighting them and all that stuff. I don't even want to open up that can of worms. But regardless, like that game right there, like I was just like, I just couldn't get that out of my head for like a lot of the season, like because I watched the entire game. Like I remember like how like just nervous he looked, how anxious he looked in the pocket and stuff. With Jared Verse was killing them that game. Like they were going crazy the pass rushers. So, but man, this honestly it don't matter who the fuck it is. Regardless, y'all gotta develop.
That's why I say just take the ceiling guy, man.
It don't matter who the hell it is,
That's
bro.
what I'm thinking. Like you're not expected to win or be a playoff team year one, so might as well take the dude you can at least take time to develop. And throw him in the fire. I don't believe in
Don't
this.
throw him in the fire.
I don't believe it.
Don't.
I'm not. Why am I taking a QB top 2 that I gotta sit for you? I might as well just like I don't trade back or something. If I'm gonna sit a QB, I'm at least get a QB that supposedly isn't as good. Boost up on draft cap or maybe fix the O line or something.
Like I don't see how you can say that J.J. McCarthy. Well, I see how people can say it, but that's been a take that's been flying around recently saying that J.J. McCarthy's more pro ready than Drake Maye.
And what?
Stupid.
Like what?
That
doesn't make sense. He's played less games through the ball.
If he would have went out there and lost that championship game, they wouldn't have
Oh
said
man,
that.
yeah. No,
Or
that
lost
was
against
a
Bama,
good
they wouldn't have said that.
Oh,
Yeah.
He has that one.
And I like J.J. McCarthy.
I like J.J. McCarthy.
He alright. I mean, he all
Skinny Kirk Cousins.
exactly. Prop Birdie.
He like
Brock Purdy. So he alright.
Meditating Brock Purdy. That's what he.
He alright. I mean, Matt Ryan. He alright.
Yeah, alright. I just feel like you can't ignore the red flags that come with Jayden Daniels though. Like you can't ignore the red flag. I can acknowledge as a Drake Maye guy, I can acknowledge Drake Maye's flaws, but for some reason the Jayden Daniels guys in our fan base don't want to acknowledge his flaws.
That's true.
And they want to cite Kurt Benkert and Dan Orlovsky and Chris Sim. We talking about third string quarterbacks, man. Come on. Like, I'm tired of that. Oh, now we got Chase Daniel, too, on the Jayden Daniels. 4. That's 4.
Yeah. I will say this, though.
Don't.
I have never, in my entire years of being involved in the draft, start seeing advanced stats be used to compare college QB. I've never seen it.
Oh, he wasn't there for the CJ Stroud. He wasn't there for the CJ Stroud.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the CJ Stroud way, but he wasn't there for the advanced analytics part, though.
I ain't see the advanced analytics.
Yeah, no, there was the CJ Stroud. When it come to analytics, CJ Stroud, Justin Fields. I mean, no, not Justin Fields. That was
just
bad
pure
analytics right there.
film
Yeah.
breakdown.
Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Mahomes, all of them dudes was analytics gods back in the day. This is when people was hating on PFF and all the analytics. And now, like, looking back, they was onto something. So now I guess this draft, since, is Caleb and Drake and Jayden. Not just, 1 or 2 good quarterbacks, but it's 3 good quarterbacks this time around. Maybe even 4 if JJ's good. So people got to cite whatever they can cite to push their agendas,
Yeah. I look at, my thing is, the person that flashes the most to me is Drake Maye, by far. Like, although Jayden Daniels can run, and when you look at a guy that can do things that not many people can do, Drake Maye is up there. Like him, he honestly... Drake Maye and Caleb Williams, like, they compare a lot when it comes to making these out of world sort of plays that not many guys can make. Like he's like throwing with his left hand.
You're right.
About to get tackled, throwing with his left hand, and that's like Mahomes like. That's like Josh Allen like. I'm looking at that, I'm saying to myself, like, dude, he can be a game changer.
I forgot what game it was, but I didn't see Drake Maye roll out to his right. That's like what he known for though. Like when he does get under pressure, he does roll out to his right a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
He does.
But I didn't see him roll out to his right and fire a moving bomb to the other. It might have been the Clemson
That was
game.
the Clemson game.
To the other to the receiver. I think it was
crazy.
Tays Walker on the other hash mark. And I'm like, bro, how can you see this and say that Jayden Daniels can do what Drake Maye can? I ain't seen Jayden Daniels do this, man. Like, come on.
You see, like, he just does something, bro. Like, I remember, like, he would do like these. It would be like these throws, like these 40-yard throws, and the way he's able to like change the way he can throw, like the way he throws is so crazy because like there'll be moments where it'll be like a 40, 50-yard pass, and like the throw, you be looking at it and be like, it don't even look like it's gonna be going that far, but it really does.
Right
It's like
in the basket, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy. It's like
Drake Maye's deep accuracy is insane, but like his intermediate
pitcher.
accuracy is good too, but his short accuracy is like kind of shoddy, and that's crazy. That's what's his problem is as a prospect, you know.
He reminds me like a pitcher almost, like the way is like throwing, like different throws, like Clayton Kershaw. I remember in his prime, like he would just have like this ability like to have different style of pitches. And you should be like, how does he get this shit off? Like, how does he be striking these people out? But it works. And I look at Drake Maye, and I'm like, how is he getting like these throws off like 50 yards? Like, it looks like it's going to be short, but it's not. And like, I remember when people on Twitter were talking about it, debating about it, and I'm like, that's different.
Yeah, it is.
Like, the way he's able to do that, because normally if you're going to throw a ball like that shit going to be like, look like a bomb. Like, it's going up in the air, like.
Yeah. As a guy who's always been a kind of a gunslinger type of supporter, I didn't see Drew Lock do that coming out of Missouri. Drew Lock wasn't doing that. I didn't see Mason Rudolph doing that coming out of OK State. He wasn't doing that. Like, and those are the guys that I think Drake Maye's floor can be at least. Like, those are our backups, but when they've started recently, they've produced.
I heard Carson Wentz comparisons to Drake.
Oh, pre-injury Carson Wentz. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, but the thing. I mean, Brian knows Carson Wentz pretty well. I mean, the thing with Carson Wentz was such a weird quarterback because at one end,
His
like,
mechanics were terrible.
Yeah, they were terrible, but like
bad footwork, his release in mind.
But he would carry the Eagles teams. Like he would have like receivers I never heard of, running backs I never heard of. But then all of a sudden, he lead the Eagles and he's just garbage now. Like it's just weird. Like he's just an odd quarterback. One of the weirdest quarterbacks I've ever seen.
The last thing I'll say about Drake Maye, and watching his tape and watching people break down his game, I had no choice but to call back to my own QB, Dak Prescott, as far as the footwork goes. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes I would see Drake Maye make great plays with his arm, but then I'm thinking like if he just drove that foot in the ground and just that would have been such a way more consistent and honestly could help him with the bow-headed plays he make if he just put his foot down. Because I see Dak do it all the time. He would make some risky throws, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dak, drive your foot in the ground and deliver a strike. Yeah. And sometimes he get caught up because of that. He don't plant his foot, and he just it's a pick six or something like that. Like against that was the last game of the season last year, 2022, against the Commanders actually, and he threw that out route. He threw it out like twice in a row, and it was the laziest pass I've ever seen. I'm like, he was just asking for that to get played. Like, so that's the one that I think if Drake Maye really gets that footwork down, it speeds up his release because he does throw the ball pretty slow, and that time to throw and then windows get much shorter in the NFL because all of these dudes you went from maybe a couple guys getting drafted you playing against to everybody got drafted. Yeah. So yeah, if he gets that footwork down and fix his release speed, I think he'll be all right, man. Mm. I can't tell you what his ceiling is personally. I think ceiling, his ceiling, I'd say like a top 10 QB.
I say top 5.
My ceiling, I've been saying this since I realized Sam Howell, since the season pretty much ended. I say he gonna be like Big Ben, but like more
minus
elusive.
the club incident.
Oh yeah, definitely minus.
Definitely minus that. He is. They've been the captain for the past 2 years. I mean, I've heard all about his leadership.
Yeah, he's like a quiet leader type of guy. Like the team responds to him. Apparently, he might not be out on the field like Jayden Daniels was chasing after his teammates and cheering them up, but his teammates gonna be at his birthday party. Draft day reference.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see that? It was like a video of North Carolina. They got their own, like, I guess you could say, like, all access, whatever. And they showed him. He was in a locker room with one of the linebackers. You talking about, yeah, like something about him like running and everything like that. If I run or something, like, he's not gonna get tackled or something. And it's just like he has relationships not just with the offense. Like, he'll have relationships with the defense as well. So it lets me know like he cares about everybody on the team, not just like the offense and everything like that. So that's just a good sign that when he gets to your organization, that like he's gonna try to get to know everybody on the team. Like, it's not just gonna be the offense, like the receivers and the offensive linemen. So I appreciate that, and he seems like one of the guys. Like, he's not like one of them. Like, he's not one of them white boys that be like real cringe. He's so I appreciate that. He's not like Carson Wentz.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So yeah, man. At the end of the day, to conclude this conversation, it doesn't really matter who they draft. It's close anyway. It's going to come down to the coaching staff. Can you bring in this quarterback? Can you do your due diligence to make sure that he learns, he develops, and that he's ready to take on this responsibility?
Yeah, right.
That's all that matters. If you can't do that, then it's on the coach. It's on the coach and the GM for not doing their part and making sure that this situation is the best, because we've seen it for the past 20 years with the Commanders. They failed every single time. Archie 3, what's his name? I forgot his name already. No, not Kurt. I mean, they actually did pretty solid.
Talking about Jason Campbell?
No, well, Dwayne. I mean, you could see Dwayne Haskins. You taking these guys in the first round, and it's just
They failed Sam Howell too.
Sam
He was a
Howell,
fifth rounder, but we failed him.
at least you guys got a third round for you. So that is it. But yeah, man. Good luck to the Commanders.
Ain't no good luck. I hope they fail.
Drake Maye can run too. One last thing I'm gonna say: Drake Maye can run. That's a misconception. Like, they want to say that Jayden Daniels is the superior athlete, but Drake Maye got the second most 10 plus yard runs in the 2 seasons they done started. Like, the one in front of him is Jayden Daniels, but like Drake Maye right behind him. So
yeah, pretty much. All right,
Just let me be me.